Jon Skarsten has done exactly this. I believe that Jon's defining moment is right now. Being elected the valedictorian is such an honor. Congratulations, Jon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have a heart condition where I have an abnormally low heart rate, or slow heart rate, and I've never been more thankful for it. Trustee Mari Rutka, Principal Bevo Hashi, curriculum leaders of the school on stage and off, parents, family, friends and guests, the Earl Haig graduating class of 2009 would like to applaud your presence here today. Personally, I would like to thank my mother Mary, sister Rachel, my aunts and uncles, my late father Stan, my late grandparents, teachers, mentors, all of my friends, and everyone else. You know who you are. So here we are at Earl Haig's 80th annual commencement to celebrate the 500 plus students graduating. Graduating from high school is one of the first major accomplishments a young person achieves in his or her own life. From here, we all have aspirations to go on to great things. But I don't have to get up here and talk about how to attain greatness or give a motivational speech on how to be great, because everywhere I turn at Earl Haig, I see greatness, beginning at the top with our staff. Our academics, our athletics, our arts program, the Claude Watson program, and all other programs. Every year, Earl Haig students place at the top of external competitions. This year in music, the Earl Haig music program had a historic year, winning or placing at the top at dozens of external competitions. In athletics, Earl Haig won multiple city and regional championships. In mathematics, 37 graduating students here today placed at the top 25% in Canada at the prestigious Euclid contest. In business, Earl Haig sent over 10 students to the International Business competition in California. Many graduating students had their writing published, and there are many, many more achievements that I could name. When I look upon the class of 2009, I see future leaders, doctors, lawyers, artists, inventors, entrepreneurs, and teachers. Having spent 4 years with this class, I know we are all destined for greatness. The question is, what do we do with that greatness? Now, I didn't choose to run for valedictorian because it was some sort of long-held ambition of mine, or because I thought it would look pretty on my resume. Grade 12s, you know all about that. But I chose to run because I really want to convey a message here today to everyone, myself included. In the Bible, in the book of Luke, it says, "To whom much is given, much will be required." Now, you don't have to be religious to believe that. It's quite evident that some were given more than others, and we here were given a lot. We have a responsibility to those less fortunate than us. It's also very evident that there's this great imbalance in our world. Joel Houston, lead singer of Hillsong United Band, said something that depicts this perfectly. He said, "In the same moment you have a generation sitting around entertaining themselves, watching reality television, while you have a child being prostituted behind closed doors, being robbed of their innocence. It's not fair that we can go about spending $3 or $4 on what is basically glorified tap water in a bottle with a fancy label, while you have entire communities who suffer at the hands of disease because the only water they have access to is foul and polluted. It's not fair that we can sing and dance and jump around in our freedom and in our liberty, while at the same time the slave remains captive, out of sight and out of mind." End quote. When we hear this, we say that's not right, that's not fair, because it's not. But all too often, that's all we do. This past March, I went on a trip to India with my family, and I saw many children with nothing but a rag on them, begging for anything. And then, of course, I came back home to Canada, and many of us had our bottled water as we watched reality television. And what we must understand about this imbalance is that it's not the orphan in Zambia or the widow in Haiti or the refugee from Afghanistan that's going to change this. It's the free, the privileged, the capable. It's us. And our time is now. It's not 10 years from now or after we graduate from university, or next year, or tomorrow. It's now. We're politically, physically, intellectually, financially, socially capable to change this. If anything is going to change, it's going to be because of us. And if nothing changes, it's going to be because of us. My dad used to say, when someone's in need, if you're not helping them, you're hurting them. And if you're not helping to solve a problem, then you're adding to it. One day I sat in my room and I thought of all the terrible things going on in the world, and I was getting really upset, and I thought, you know, John, it is what it is, and you can't change the past, but you have two options moving forward. You can either help solve the problem, or you can add to the problem. And every graduate here today has that very same decision to make. You can either just go about living your life adding to the problem, or you can make a conscious decision to save the problem, solve the problem. I was bound to stutter at least once. Perhaps the only fair thing to say is that when we neglect the poor and the needy, that we actually lend our hand in their pain. Therefore, the responsibility us graduates have is to use our gifts, our privileges, and our influence, not just for our own personal advancement, but for those who really need it. I'm not saying that any one of us is going to go out and save the world. I think that's a great ideal, but it's most likely not going to be the case for any one person. Theodore Roosevelt, former American president and hero of mine, said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." And I think it's so important to remember we can only do so much as individuals. Unfortunately, in life, a lot of things are not in our control, but we need to do what we can. Give a summer and go on a missions trip to a third world country. Sponsor a child. Get involved with an organization like the Red Cross or World Vision and volunteer your time. Participate in an event like a social justice rally or 30-hour famine or Meet a Wee Week. Or inspire others. This one is the greatest because, again, we can only do so much as individuals. But when we get others to help us, that is when special things can happen. Whatever we do, we must give willingly, we must give significantly, and we must do it now. So in closing, we need to seize every day, or as we know it, carpe diem. Strive for great things and never give up on our dreams. Treat others how we want to be treated. Love like we've never been hurt. Understand the true meaning of wealth. Women be ladies, men be gentlemen. Conquer the world with joyous enthusiasm and do it with a smile on your face. And always, always, always remember our responsibility. Thank you.